The fraud and corruption case involving former Minister Zwane has been postponed to the 25th of January. He and two others are accused of looting over 200 million from the Freda dairy farm. Pule Letshwiti-Jones has the latest and joins us now. Pule, when we spoke earlier, we were taken through Zwane and at least what he is accused of. Can you talk us through the charges against the others?
Yeah, the investigating directorate says that they've added more accused persons to the charge sheet as well, looking widely into these investigations as to how some of the monies were siphoned to various companies, money that are supposed to benefit black farmers in the province of the Free State. This, of course, in relation to the controversial eStina Dairy Freda project that has been under the limelight for quite some time. We're speaking to the investigative directorate now, Cindy Seboka, who joins us on eNCA once again this morning to give us a more brief and context around these persons who've been accused and added to the charge sheet. Maybe if you could just explain to us who are they when we see the likes of Peter Tabete, the likes of Ronika Rangavan, Ugeshni Govender. Who are some of these people? Can you explain to us, apart from one of the members and former MEC, Zwane?
So the composition of some of the accused here before court are former Department of Agriculture officials that we're saying facilitated the making sure that eStina gets the money. We're talking about a former CFO that is part and parcel of this group, former head of the department that is part of the group. This is Sepati Dlamini. We're also looking at Peter Tabete. We're also looking at Danki Simaseteng. And we also added Kamal Vasram, who's the former owner of eStina. We now heard that eStina is under liquidation. However, he still represents some of the funneling that took place, and he's one of the accused in this particular matter. But we must also state that about 8 companies have also been added that are accused in this particular regard. So we're looking at plus minus 15 persons.
You've looked at a very wide, sophisticated web of how money was siphoned to various entities as well. But the question remaining, are you managing to link this to the Gupta brothers as well?
Yes, most certainly. You'd know that the extradition request was premised on eStina as well as Nolani. Warrants of arrest were issued for the two Gupta brothers in regards to Nolani investment. However, this is another one that we have linked. You would have heard the NDPP had also mentioned a while ago that this is another matter that we've also premised on the Gupta brothers extradition request that was sent to the UAE. But above and beyond that, as investigating directorate led by Advocate Andrea Johnson, working around the clock to ensure that more cases linked to state capture are brought to court.
Sure, and that's another one that's happening tomorrow in courts, the Nolani case, where their defense in the 24.9 million case argue that they should not be blamed for the delay in the court proceedings. How far are you with that? Are you quite confident that tomorrow judgment will go in your favor to prove that you haven't been delaying this court proceedings?
For starters, I think just to jog everyone's memory, the investigating directorate provided disclosure at the very first appearance of the accused in the Nolani matter. This was in June 2020, if memory serves me correctly. And at that time, we already had started with disclosure. So it gave them sufficient time before we then transferred the matter to, or the court transferred the matter to the Bloemfontein High Court. You will know, defense does what defense does. They are paid big bucks to ensure that they do what they do. Arguments were heard last month in terms of them requesting further and better particulars, or requesting the court to petition us to provide the further and better particulars. Tomorrow we'll hear judgment as to whether the court agrees that we had not provided or should be compelled to provide more. In terms of confidence or not, we argue to brought our matter before court as strongly as we believe it's now in the court's hands.
So this has a direct link to the eStina project as well?
So just to make the link between the two cases, the Nolani 24.9 million is the precursor to eStina. So the feasibility study that was supposed to be done by Nolani was supposed to ascertain whether agricultural projects like eStina under the Muhubu Mubung initiative by the Free State Department would be a success or not. So the precursor then said that they would be, it would be a success, and then eStina then came into being. So that's the direct link, that was the precursor opening act, and then eStina was then to follow, and various others. However, we know that from our investigations and charge sheets provided to court, fact, it was just a money-making scheme.
All right, Cindy Saboka, thank you very much for joining us on the eNCA this morning. Well, there you go. And for those, just some of the remarks coming here from the Bloemfontein Match Court in terms of today's update in relation to the Estina Dairy Farm project. More accused added to the charge sheet. As far as we understand, this matter has now been transferred to the High Court and will sit on the 25th of January next year.